I went to Turkey the end of January, Izmir in Turkey, for a mummy makeover, and my life has been an absolute living hell since. The treatment over there, I was there for 10 days and the treatment over there was absolutely horrendous. I was home a week when I got a bad infection in my wound, and I was admitted to my local hospital here in Kilkenny for 6 days. I was discharged after 6 days, and after 3 days I had to go back in for another 9 days, on which on the third day I had major surgery to remove the infection that was in the wound that was caused over in Turkey. After the surgery in my local hospital, I had to have a drain applied to my wound, and I have it now for the last 50 days. It's attached to my stomach and it's draining the infection from the tube into the machine. I'm just hoping for an end to all this. Like, I've no life, I've no quality of life, I can't go anywhere because I have to bring this machine with me, and it makes noises when the infection has been sucked out into the canister, and basically my life has been a living hell.
One thing I was not aware of after I got the tummy tuck was you're going to feel like you're wearing somebody else's skin, especially if you get liposuction. So I got liposuction here in my back and right here, and it feels numb, but also you can still feel the sensation. So it feels like you have somebody else's skin like stretched over you, and then you touch it and it's like it doesn't feel good. It could take up to like 6 months for that to go away. I really don't remember how long it took. I want to say about 4 or 5 months maybe, yeah, for that feeling to go away. And then also, you can't walk normal. You can be walking around like this, because this part right here, they take this skin and this skin, remove all of this, and slam that shit together. So they take your coochie and bring it up to your titties. At least that's how I feel. Sometimes I feel like they took it up way too high, but I'm not complaining because I'm happy with it. Like, the way that it looks overall compared to what I used to look like. And then removing of the drains, that was nasty. It felt like an alien type thing. Some people can get a drainless tummy tuck. I did not. So I had a drain here in the incision attached with like a little bulb that had to be drained. And I don't remember how long it was in there for. I think about a week. It was a week, 7 days, yeah. And then she's like, okay, we're gonna pull it out. And she ripped it out, and it felt like this weird, slimy, like, thing, and you could feel it touch your nerves. Like, it didn't hurt, but it felt fucking disgusting. And then another thing was the liquefied fat. Liquefied fat, Crisco looking ass shit, came out of my belly button, like, I want to say a month later. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? I didn't know. I had no clue about this. So I Googled it, asked my doctor and all this stuff. And he's like, oh, yeah, that's normal. Just from you moving your muscles and a little bit of the liposuction and whatnot. And so I was like, okay, cool, whatever. And then, of course, you run a big risk of infection and stuff if you're not keeping yourself clean and tending to your incision sites and things like that. But, I mean, overall, it wasn't, like, horrible experience. But there's a lot of nasty shit. And, like, the compression garments, right? So I had to wear like a whole bodysuit from here all the way up, and then it had straps, and so it was a full compression all over my back and my legs too. I don't know why I was on my legs, or whatever. And you have to wash that because you have to wear that shit for 3 months, I believe. So you need to wash it at least every other day, and then they give you another thing like a girdle to wrap around, keep that shit tight, which is really annoying because it digs into your back and it's just not comfortable. And you leak out, right? You're leaking, you're stinking, and you need help taking a shower. You need help going to the bathroom. You need help doing pretty much everything, but you also have to get up and, you know, granny around as much as you can, because if you just sit there and do nothing while you're healing, you could get, what is it called? A blood clot. There we go. You could need a blood clot. So I mean, that's really all the things that I could think of that like I was not aware of when I got the surgery until I just kind of figured it out on my own afterwards. Yeah, hope this helps. If you have any more questions, just let me know. So I am officially 2 months post-op from getting my mommy makeover surgery in Canada, and I was waiting till, you know, the 2 months passed so that I could kind of see the full recovery and how things turned out before I answered a question like this, because I did get like a few questions about where I went and who I went to since posting about it. If you are looking to do research on getting it done in Canada, then this is the video for you. If you're looking for saving money or going like a cheaper route, this probably isn't the video for you. Not to knock that route. If you can save money, great. I did do a lot of research. I researched for over a year. I spoke to doctors in different countries, Colombia, Mexico, Turkey, and then I spoke to a few in Canada before making my decision. I just chose to go this route. I decided not to do the cheaper route only because for me what was important was definitely safety, number one, and then number two, having that natural look. I have 2 young kids. I do the morning drop off and pick up at school, so I wasn't really trying to show up to my kids' school looking like a porn star with like a huge fake ass. But not to knock it, but it just wasn't kind of the route that I wanted to go. So with that being said, I went to a doctor. His name is Dr. Plant. He's located in Toronto, and I did my surgery with him. And the cost, it's hard to say because everybody gets kind of a different price depending on how your body is and what he needs to do, but roughly you're looking at around like 34K-ish. So it's definitely a lot of money, but like I said, I met with him and I liked that he was very big on safety. His work is very clean, and his thing to me was like, I want you to look good, but I don't want people to look at you and right away say she got work done, which I like. Very natural. I'm very happy with the results. The way that he did my stomach, you know, after having kids, I had that lower mom pouch. He was able to get rid of that. It's just, I'm very happy with it. So I would recommend him if you're willing to spend the money, and you know, it's a big amount of money. And other than that, I mean, the recovery's been great. The scarring is already looking really good. The way that he was able to kind of make this almost like an hourglass shape, I'm really happy with. The butt looks very natural. Anyone who sees it isn't like, oh my god, you got like, it's so obvious that you got work done. It just looks like I work out. So overall, I'm very happy, and if you are looking to get work done in Canada, I would recommend Dr. Plant. And that's it. That's all for my 2-month update, and we'll see how it goes in the next month or so. Bye.
Things you should know before getting a mommy makeover. Number 1, you are going to regret that decision for about 6 weeks. That starts actually kicking in that you kind of like your new body. Number 2, you're gonna need help for longer than just the first day. I would say for 5 days to a week, make sure you have help, because you cannot get in and out of that bed by yourself. You cannot get up and down off of the toilet by yourself. You can barely walk by yourself. So you're gonna need somebody to help you in and out of bed, up and down off the toilet, and probably to make you meals and just bring them to you in your bed. Number 3, the inflammation can last up to 6 months, sometimes even up to a year for certain people. Mine lasted 6 months about, and even that, after I work out, the inflammation will come back. So know that that swelling look in your belly is going to be there for about 6 months, especially if you're super active. Ways to counteract that, obviously drinking lots of water, doing lymphatic massage helps, but know that it's just gonna be there. Number 4, the scars are not gonna be perfect. Realizing These surgeons are doing the best they can, but they are working with super loose skin most of the time. That's why we get it, because we've lost weight. We get all that skin removed off of our stomachs. You're gonna have a scar that's maybe not perfect. It might come up too high on the sides. It might go down too low on the sides. It's not gonna be perfect. So you have to have that mentality going into your surgery. When you remove those bandages, know that it's not gonna be perfect, and that's okay. Number 5, this is a life-altering decision. Your body is gonna look different. You may love the results. You may cry yourself to sleep at night. You really have to weigh that, especially depending on what you're doing with your body. The biggest part for me, I had a breast lift, and the scars, there's scars around your nipples, and there are scars straight down the bottom of your breasts. Those are going to be there the rest of your life. You can get tattoos to cover them. They get super light, but know that they're going to be there. You also have a giant scar, which looks like your body has been cut in half. It's going to be there the rest of your life. It's going to get lighter. Again, you can cover it with tattoos, but it's knowing, looking at yourself in the mirror, you're always going to be able to tell that you had this surgery, and everybody else is going to be able to tell too. So if you're super concerned about people seeing you naked, they're going to know you had this surgery. So you really have to weigh the pros and the cons. Come back tomorrow for some more things you need to know before getting a mommy makeover.
Happy Tuesday from your Mixie sister you didn't know that you needed. I just wanted to come on here and kind of tell my story about my mommy makeover. I know there's tons of horror stories, and I'm not trying to add to them. But what I am trying to do is educate, and I can do that through my own experience. I decided to get surgery, mommy makeover, September 30th, 2022. So roughly, 10 months ago in Indianapolis, Indiana. And I was referred to this doctor. I don't blame the female at all, so please don't take it like that at all. I'm a grown woman. I decided to go through with it. The guy had no bad reviews. Heard nothing but good from him about him. My first red flag should have been the fact that he was pushing a BBL on me. I didn't want a BBL. I didn't want a big old badonkadonk. I already got a big old badonkadonk. He was like obsessed with it being perfectly round, my behind. And I'm like, bro, I don't care about that. But I succumbed to the pressure, okay? It wasn't until 3 days before the surgery. I had heavily prayed on it, and I had somebody come to me and tell me, hey, I don't think you should get that BBL. Now I know that was God. It was God saving my life. So I called up the surgeon. I told him I'm only going to do a breast lift. I'm going to do liposuction and a tummy tuck. And he still charged me like $12,500. So this was not like a cheap surgery at all, like you keep hearing about. He lied to me about being a plastic surgeon. He was actually a general surgeon. I get to the day of surgery. It was ended up being like a 12-hour process. They ended up not even sedating me. They did twilight sedation, and I ended up waking up during surgery. And I remember looking at the clock, and I got scared. And then next thing you know, I was out again until about 8:30. My husband was banging on the door because they had locked all the doors to it was a med. I remember being so lethargic and so out of it, I couldn't even move. My husband had to carry me to the car. Look for part 2. So my husband gets me home, and I am really sick. Like, granted, it was after surgery. We didn't think anything of it. I was just really out of it, and like to the point I couldn't even hold my head up. I remember them bringing my 1-year-old at the time's sippy cup and like giving me water through there. My mouth was so dry. My throat hurt so bad. And after talking and having issues with like breathing ever since the procedure, after talking to several health professionals, we are led to believe that they used the LMA tube as well during the surgery. I just remember being in so much pain the first night. I granted, again, it is surgery, and I really just was like, wow, this is a lot. And I would scream in pain. I felt like the garments were too tight. But I knew the next day, on the 1st of October of 2022, that I had another appointment with my surgeon and his assistant. I'm going to add the photo from the very next day after surgery, and you just look at my face. I have to cover up my goodies, but just look at my face, and anybody could tell that I was very ill. I'm just going to say like this so nobody can see my goods, but yeah, my face got awful. I try to tell the MA, hey, my garments are too tight, and she just like blew me off until at least the second visit, which would have been that next Monday, because that was Saturday, so it would have been Monday. And I kept telling them, look, I don't feel good, and they're like, just go home and just rest. So Monday comes around. I'm still feeling really dizzy. I'm feeling really sick. After Monday, I told them, I said, hey, I'm really thinking about getting some emergent care. If I'm not feeling better. They kept saying, no, don't do that. Just come back in. I believe it was a Tuesday. I had been seeing that Monday. They said, come back in, and part three. All right, part three. So I went in the next day to see the surgeon, to try to give him another chance to figure out what was going on with me. He blew me off. I told him, hey, they changed my garments. They were too small. I told him, hey, I'm having a hard time breathing. I have dizziness, shortness of breath, all of that. And he saw how I walked to the bathroom across the hall, like right across the hall. I was shuffling, and I was so out of breath, like I couldn't catch my breath. And then he was like, well, we'll put you on oxygen for a few minutes before you go home. Don't go to the ER. They can't do nothing for you. They're just going to fill you full of antibiotics that you don't even need, was his answer. So he gave me a Gatorade and some Lovenox and sent me home. Had I not called my friend that just recently had a surgery, okay, herself, or my mom, that's a nurse, been a nurse for 40 years, or a nurse practitioner I used to work with, my personal nurse practitioner, and the nurse that lived across from me at that time, and myself, because I do have some type of medical background, I would not be alive today telling you this story, because had I taken that Lovenox, I would have bled out. They all told me to get my husband and let him drive me to the ER. And that's exactly what I did. I didn't play any games there at all. At that point, the ER did reach out to the surgeon, and he's just basically, oh, well, it's okay. She's fine. Da 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 da. No, I wasn't. I ended up coming in there with a total blood count of 8 and leaving the ER with a total blood count of 7. And the only reason why I left was because they had to transfer me to a bigger hospital. When being admitted into the next ER at the next hospital, They told me my total blood count was at a 7, and I could possibly have a PE, pulmonary embolism. Thank God they ruled the pulmonary embolism out. But go to part 4. Part 4. I was not out of the woods nearly yet. When I was in the ER, before they started giving the blood transfusions, my O2 kept dropping into the 70s. I'll never forget. I'm going to get emotional. Hold on, guys. I'll never forget the ER nurse coming in and letting me know, because I had nobody with me at the time. My husband was with the kids, and my parents were not there with me. And she said, "Honey, I think you need to call somebody, because I think they were expecting me to crash." I realized right then how serious this was. I always blow things off like it's not a big deal. Hard stuff, especially going through it. I feel like if you just blow it off like it's no big deal, that you're going to get through it faster and better. And I couldn't. They ended up admitting me. I ended up being there for 5 days. I had another moment where I did start to crash. They had to call in their special response team to come in there and try to, get my stats back up and all of that. I ended up getting 2 blood transfusions. I ended up having a fat embolism. I ended up having sepsis. And I think I named everything. I ended up being on vancomycin for a course of the time that I was there. And then afterwards, I had some orally, that I was taken at home. I just remember the surgeon calling every day, blowing up my phone. I'd have my mom answer. By that time, she was there with me, or my dad, and just basically taunting them like, "Oh, they're not going to find anything. Oh, if she doesn't have her garments on, she's going to blow up like the Michelin Man." And those were his words exactly. He was more concerned about what people thought of his work and him than my well-being as a patient. So once I got released from the hospital, I thought, "Oh, okay, this is it. Like I'm going to get better from here." Go to part 5, because there's way more to the story. All right, part 5. I believe in giving people second chances, right? I'm the most forgiving person you will know. Promise you that. This man played with my life, and I went back and I gave him another chance. It seemed like no surgeon wanted to touch his work anyways, so I was kind of, stuck there anyway. So I was just like, well, let me just go make peace. Well, I let him see me for the next, couple weeks, and then my breast started to open up. And it was raw. Let me see if I can try to show it without showing everything. Hold on. Honestly, I would show y'all, but it is super graphic. It even makes me want to cringe. But anyways, so I won't show that. I'll leave that alone, because y'all will be like, "What's wrong with her posting that?" But yes, so I gave him an ample week and a half to help me get it back closed, because the sutures open everything. And I did nothing. I mean, I have a work from home job. I was wearing my bra like I was supposed to, the ones that they give you with the clothes right here. And so I went back to him, and he first gave me Meta-Honey. That made it worse. And then he gave me Denkins. That really made it worse. So after a while, I went back to my primary care, and I trust her with my life. And I said, hey, girlfriend, this man is doing this, and she was appalled. Okay, so she was already non-forgiving for the first time. He messed me up and didn't send me to the hospital. So she wrote me a thing for wound care, and I just never went back to him. I told her, I'm just not going to go back. You're going to write me for wound care? I'm just going to go to wound care. So I started going to wound care, and I will never forget that general surgeon's face when he had seen my breast. His eyes were like this big, and he had residents with him. They were like, holy crap. So needless to say, I was with them for about 3 to 4 months before I moved out here to Colorado. When I got to Colorado, things closed up. I don't know if it was altitude or what, within 3 weeks. All right, part 5. Part 6 and the final part. So once I moved, my wounds closed up, but the pain persisted. I have severe pain every single day. And not only do I have severe pain, but I have a lot of PTSD and horrible anxiety that I'm fighting. So I told you guys all this to educate. Know who you are going to. I don't care if he feels like he is the most confident surgeon in the world. Listen to me. Listen to your Mixie sister. He's not God. And a lot of these surgeons have a lot of God complex issues and perfection issues. And once you see those, run the opposite direction, because it's not gonna end well. Also, any surgeon that tells you that they could do at least four procedures at once, run the opposite direction. Red flag. And most of all, right, anybody that tries to hide their reviews from the general public, run the opposite direction. With that, also anybody or any surgeon that claims that you're bad talking them and threatens you with a lawsuit of defamation of character, run the opposite direction. They're hiding something. I rolled the dice in my situation, and luckily, it played out in my favor. But unfortunately, a young lady lost her life right about a month after that I had my surgery. There's other people that have lost their lives from the surgeon. There's been multiple people that have been hurt from this surgeon. So my story is true. My story is real. And I'm so glad and I'm so blessed. Thank you, Jesus, that I'm here to tell it to y'all. Stay safe. And baby, you are perfect the way that God made you. Don't you ever forget that. Even if you want to make some changes, you are perfect. Have a good night.
I'm 9 months post-op from my mommy makeover, and today we're just having one of those, like, I really am bloated and I don't feel like myself kind of days. So today is one of those days that we're going to throw on the paha again, because you get swollen, you get bloated, and you can really, really tell when you've had a tummy tuck. Everything's tighter. So when you're a little bit swollen and a little bit bloated, it sure does show. It's not pretty. I want to tell you, body dysmorphia gets a lot worse after you've had a mommy makeover. You think, oh great, it's going to be amazing. I'm going to look so much better. And I do. I do love my results. But guess what? I notice a whole lot more. All of my flaws. I notice where all the fat is hiding. I notice where all the fat that I can't lose is hiding. Okay, I stress with body dysmorphia. I've stressed with it my whole life, and now it's only gotten worse. So, we're in the faja today.
I had a mommy makeover 15 months ago. Get ready with me while I tell you all the details. Let's start with the popular question. Who was my doctor and where did I go? So, my doctor was Dr. Eduardo Ochoa in Tijuana, Mexico. So I didn't go through the doctor himself. I actually went through the company he works for, which is EOC, plastic surgery. They do specialize in bariatric patients, so weight loss patients. I had previous pregnancies and had lost a bunch of weight, had a lot of loose skin, so I decided to go with him. He's an amazing surgeon. And I do know other people that have went to him, and I'm so happy with my decision. Going through the company was the best decision, as I stayed in Mexico for a total of 9 days and got taken care of by their nurses. I didn't actually go to a recovery home. It was all through the company, and I was in a hotel with nurses that were on call, monitoring my blood pressure, checking on me, and it did include all my massages with the massage therapist as well. I didn't have to worry about any transportation while I was there. They actually picked me up from the San Diego airport, brought me into TJ. They did take me to all my pre-op appointments as well as my post-op. The only thing that I did have to worry about was my meals. So I pretty much did Uber Eats, and then I did get some snacks from the store before my surgery day. The entire floor level that I was on at the hotel also did have surgery patients that either had the weight loss surgery or plastic surgery, so that was nice to be able to keep in touch and see how other people were recovering. After my time was up there, the drivers did take me back to the San Diego airport, where I was then picked up and brought back to Hemet, California. My experience was really good with Dr. Ochoa, and I love his team and the company EOC. It was really great, had no issues, and if you're looking for somebody, I definitely recommend him.
Girl, don't do it. It's not worth it. I'm not gonna do it, girl. I was just thinking about it. I'm not gonna do it. I did it.
I am 3 days post-op from my mummy makeover in New Zealand. Last night I had my first shower, and I think that just took it out of me because I was knackered last night. I slept all the way through except for like when I got up from my medication. And my lovely daughter decided to plait my hair last night because I was starting to get a bit knotty and I don't like to wash it every day, so I had to do something to be a bit normal. I've texted my surgeon this morning because I'm backed up and I haven't been able to go yet, so and it's starting to feel uncomfortable with, you know, like everything backing up for like 3 days, medication, food, drink, all of it, so I'm waiting for them to get back to me and then we'll sort that out. I also was talking to some of the other girls who have also had surgery, and I was discussing this like burning sensation, because it's not where the wounds are, it's like in my left hip, kind of like upper thigh area, and the theory is that it would be where they did my liposuction, which makes all the sense. I didn't actually think about that, but that is, for me, the most painful part of it is the liposuction areas, because they sting so bad and I have to like apply pressure to them to like stop the stinging when I'm trying to walk. It also kind of like stopped me from getting up last night because I just was like, I don't want to have to deal with that stinging sensation, but apparently it's quite normal and it does start to subside, but in terms of pain, that's probably the only pain that I have at the moment. So That's not bad. Pain scale, I'd say between 5 now. Yeah. I also need to go and put the ointment in my belly button, so you have to do that 3 times a day. And let me tell you, it is so ugly. I mean, I know it's only day 3, but like, wow, it's not very pretty. But yeah, other than that, I'm having a protein bar for Bricky because the thought of more things backing up in my system is just like making me cringe. So I'm just going to keep it light today and hopefully try and figure out how we can get the bowels moving. But yeah, that's my update for this morning, and I'll probably jump on this afternoon.
I surprised my mom with a surgical body makeover, so get ready with me because we're taking her to surgery. She's getting her tummy tuck and lipo with Dr. Barrett. He's a doctor that did my mommy makeover 7 years ago, and it was the best decision I've ever made. Immediately after, I was so much more confident in my body, so when she told me she wanted something like this right after she had my sister, now my sister's 13 and my mom's 52, I felt like this was the perfect time. I wouldn't trust any other doctor to touch me or my mom. He's done a lot of celebrities. He's done people that I know. He always does such a beautiful job. I am just so freaking excited for her. I know she's gonna love her new body. I'm letting her sleep a little bit more before I go and wake her up to get ready for surgery. You guys are gonna come with me, so stick around because I'm gonna show you taking her to the surgery, meeting Dr. Barrett, everything. So if you wanna know more, stick around. I actually went to Dr. Barrett twice, once to do my mommy makeover, but I already had implants from a previous doctor and he put them in backwards. Girl, they were upside down. They were massive in my body and I just wanted to take them out. I didn't even know they were backwards until Dr. Barrett was like, they were backwards. I have both of those surgeries documented on my YouTube channel in case you guys want to check them out. Throughout my entire 20s, I never wore anything fitted because of the excess loose skin, and if I did, I would wear a faja. But let me tell you, once I got out of surgery, I was in my crop top era, and honestly, I still am. Okay, let's go wake up Mommers. Mom, are you ready? It's surgery. I'm ready. I'm nervous, but I'm ready. Here we go. We're walking through the door right now. Here's last room on your right. After I had your sister, I went into premenopause and menopause, so my skin and my muscles never went back to the pre-pregnancy me. And I've had a very hard time getting back to that point. It's just gonna help me get back to where I was before.
The way that I do the surgery, it is a big surgery, but we put a lot of numbing medicine in there, so you're not gonna wake up in a bunch of pain. It'll be a little bit sore. Yes, so this one I created myself is 7 different types of magnesium. I recommend this for everybody, but it's really good after surgery because it relaxes the muscles. We'll spend a little time on your incision. It is a trade-off, right? So when we get rid of the skin, we have a little scar, but the beauty of that scar heals really nice with all the different things that we do, then you're a win-win, right? Right. So.
Okay, Mom, we're almost ready to go back. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
I'm like shaking. I'm so excited and nervous.
I'm shaking.
I know you.
Yeah. I'm super excited.
But
oh my God.
It's gonna be over like this, and you're not gonna even feel anything. It's gonna be so good.
Okay, bye, Mom.
10 weeks post facelift, bleph, and brow lift, and 2 years post a mommy makeover with the same doctor. Let's chat. So today I'm officially 10 weeks post-op. I had a mini facelift, which addresses the mid-face, the jowls, the jawline, and a little bit of the smile lines. Now I wanted a very natural look, and my doctor who did my body 2 years ago is the one who performed the facelift. Definitely a difference. My jawline is now snatched. The scars are healing beautifully. You can barely see them. And overall, I'm happy. It continues to get better. And when I say better, I mean, it looks so natural. If you saw me face to face, forward facing, you might look at me and think maybe I got a facial, but you wouldn't really think much else. It's not until I do the side by side or the before and after on the bleph, which I have pinned on my profile as well, that you're like, whoa, my lid space is a lot bigger than it was before. The scar is completely hidden and faded. This same doctor did my body 2 years ago, so get your teacups ready because I'm about to show you these abs. 2 years post mommy makeover, and this is what it's looking like. Same doctor. This is my scar, if you can
even see it, but it is there. And my beautiful babies. If you look at my before, you'll see that I had a lot of loose skin. My stretch marks were this long, and Dr. Doolin has done an amazing job, but I had to do my part too. I did scar care. I have been eating well. Even though I'm not super hardcore on diet and gym, I do watch what I eat, and that has helped bring this all forward. Right now I'm actually swollen because I ate a sandwich and I swell with the bread, but this is the Mommy Makeover, trying to get closer, and that is the scar, same doctor.
Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Guys, I learned so much from doing these videos, and one thing today that was so surprising was the price of these Mommy Makeover. There was a lady there that says she pays $21,000, and there was another lady said she paid 34,000 Canadian, and I am telling you, I am so surprised of how expensive these procedures are. So guys, what are your thoughts? Is there anything that stick out to you? And then also the next lady that talked about being pregnant after paying 21,000 for her procedure of having a mommy makeover. But the thing is, life is such a journey that you don't know where you will be ahead of time. You could be somewhere completely different 5 years from now. You could have a completely different spouse who never had children. That's the case I fall in. We already had 3 children in my first marriage, and I thought that was it. I had my last child, we're content, and then I got remarried after my first husband passed, and my second husband didn't have a child, so we then decided to have another one. So life can throw a different curve into your journey, so you might not know where that takes you. And if you already have a mommy makeover, now you're gonna have to reverse that by getting pregnant again and have your body back out of sorts. So anyway guys, let me know what your thoughts are. I don't want to ramble too much, and thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel.